Test, test. Test, test, 1, 2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am Creole, one half of Untwisting the Game Crypto, where we discuss all things Bitcoin, Polkadot, and Cardano, NFTs, and the metaverse. Here we teach you how to understand the crypto market, because the market is driven by the market makers, okay? These market makers are the pioneers of the industry. The market is not driven by banks. It's not driven by retail nor governments. It's driven by the pioneers. And as always, you know, we are not financial advisors, but we realize our words carry weight. At times, there may be something we miss or get wrong. So always do your own research. And you are tuned in this evening to the Untwisting the Game Bitcoin Weekly Close, where we watch Bitcoin's weekly candle close, review the top 10 coins by market cap, and I provide news from the week. And I showcase each week the Bitcoin Clown of the Week. And the agenda today, we're going to cover the top 10 coins by market cap, of course. Got some information about Bakkt. Bakkt partners with Google. This is major. They're going to introduce digital assets to millions of customers. After that, we're going to talk about Nigeria. Nigeria has won the CBDC race in Africa. Then we're going to go over and review a progress report on the implementation of the FSB high-level recommendations on the supervision and oversight of a global stablecoin, okay? This FSB is the Financial Stability Board. They're international. They work with banks and governments across the world. We're going to jump into their report so we can see what's on their minds. Then we're going to close out this evening's episode with the Bitcoin Clown of the Week. It's a good one. Figured out I lit the wrong rap, so I got with a sick tight click and went all out. Catching keys from proceeds, rolling in LPVs every week. We made 40 G. Yo, brothers respect mine. I ain't gonna check now. Bow, move from the game now. Where will we close this week? Where will Bitcoin close? That is the question for this week. This past week, Bitcoin's market cap topped $1 trillion for the first time since mid-May. I believe it was May 12th to be exact, but what are the market makers going to do this week? Will we retrace before continuing to more upside? You know, we don't know. Will the market makers... One thing we know for sure is that they're trapping people up right now, right? They're faking people out. They're tapping into that liquidity because everyone is expecting a drop, but will we? And if we do drop,
The question is, for how long? This is Q4, bullish season in effect.
Ready to get up, so I seek the whole earth to explain. Working hard may help you maintain. To learn to overcome the heartaches and pain. We got stick up kids, corrupt cops, and crack rocks and straight shots. All on the block stays hot. Leave it up to me while I be living proof. To kick the truth to the young black youth. With shorties running around smoking cess, drinking beer. And ain't trying to hear what I'm kicking in his ear. All
right, let's catch you up on the news from this past week. Regarding U.S. regulations and politics, Senator Cynthia Lummis, Republican from Wyoming, bought Bitcoin worth between $50,000 and $100,000 on August 16th, according to a filing this past Thursday. The purchase was disclosed outside the 45-day reporting deadline. A spokesperson for Lummis told CNBC that the delay in disclosing was due to a filing error, quote unquote. The Congresswoman has been a long-time Bitcoin bull. She previously said she made her first Bitcoin purchase back in 2013 for $330 per token. Yes, look at the wrist. Bitcoin hitting, where are we? You know, we topped 55,000 this past week at the flick of a wrist. But going back into some more news regarding U.S. politics, Andrew Yang's Ford Party believes cryptocurrencies are a, quote, huge source of value and innovation, close quote. Yang tweeted on Thursday, quote, met with someone today who suggested that the Ford Party become the party that stands for reasonable and rational regulation of cryptocurrencies as a huge source of value and innovation. In a word, he says, quote, yes. More news in the realm of U.S. politics. On October 5th, Patrick McHenry, the ranking member of the House Financial Services Committee, introduced the Clarity for Digital Tokens Act of 2021. The bill would adapt the Securities Act of 1933 to establish a 3-year safe harbor for token development teams to offer those tokens for sale without full registration as a securities offering on the condition that the network decentralizes over the course of those 3 years. Now, under the terms of this bill, token issuers would have to make disclosure requirements specific to the industry. These include source code, development plans, and information explaining the launch and supply process, including the number of tokens to be issued in an initial allocation, the total number of tokens to be created, the release schedule for the tokens, and finally, the total number of tokens outstanding. Finally, some reasonable, rational, right? Bills being introduced in Congress. Senator Pat Toomey in the news. He is not pleased with the United States Treasury's much-anticipated work on stablecoins. In an October 7th letter to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, Toomey criticized the process behind a much-anticipated report on stablecoins from the President's Working Group. The PWG is a collective of U.S. financial regulators, including the Treasury. They are currently working on a framework for regulating stablecoins, with Yellen driving the project. Yikes. Toomey's letter voiced concerns that the PWG has kept the pending framework behind closed doors and hasn't sought enough input from the crypto industry. That is true. He says, quote, the administration would do well to remember that America's longstanding status as the world's leading economy is due in no small part to our tradition of fostering technological innovation, not stifling it. That I can't even go out with my girlfriends without you tracking me down. You need to chill out with that mess, 'cause you can't keep having me my gosh, the SEC has us stressed, right? The theme here is regulators across the world, they have turned their focus from Bitcoin and other altcoins to stablecoins, right? In other news, SEC approves ETF for Bitcoin Revolution companies. Portfolio includes Tesla and Twitter. The new ETF from Volt Equity will give investors exposure to a range of companies like MicroStrategy, Square, etc., Tesla, PayPal. The approval comes as crypto world continues to wait for the SEC to approve a pure Bitcoin ETF. It's on the horizon. And we've got 14 minutes until the Bitcoin weekly candle closes. Will we inch towards 55,000? All right. More in the news of the week. Numbers you need to know, right? $40 million. That is the amount that Bitcoin miners are making per day as of October 4th. That's a 488% increase since the last halving in May 2020. The Bitcoin network cuts blocks rewards in half roughly every 4 years. Earnings are still down from May's peak of around 60 million per day, just before China cracked down on the industry. $10 million. Numbers you need to know. That is the value of MiamiCoin. Miami. Tokens held in a wallet owned by the city of Miami as of October 5th, just weeks after the municipal cryptocurrency launched in late August, as the Washington Post reports. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez.
Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me. Don't pull up at 6 a.m. to cuddle with me. You know how I like it when you loving on me. I don't want to die for them to miss me.
$6 million. Numbers you need to know. $6 million. This is the amount netted by Italian fashion brand Dolce Gabbana for 9 NFTs, including an item called the Doge Crown. 5 of the NFTs include both real-world and virtual versions of designer objects, a dress, a man suit, and 2 crowns. Right? Everybody's going to be piling to the NFT scene. That's where the money is.
I make sure that Northside heat. Bad things. It's a lot of bad things that they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish on me. Bad things. It's a lot of bad things that they wish and they wish and they wish.
Staying on topic of NFTs, this past week, Dapper Labs, the startup behind NBA Top Shot, announced Thursday that it will partner with the blockchain analytics firm Chainalysis. Dapper Labs will leverage Chainalysis blockchain analytics tools to monitor transactions and ensure better compliance to regulatory guidelines. In particular, Dapper Labs plans to use Chainalysis tools to know your transaction, KYT.
God's plan. I can't do this on my own. Hey.
More in the NFT news this week. New York NBA team Brooklyn Nets has partnered with blockchain-based fan engagement platform Socios.com. The Nets became the 3rd team to join Socios' network in 3 days following deals with top Brazilian football club São Paulo and Argentinian soccer team Racing Club. Socios.com is a major competitor in the market for fan tokens. The group has launched tokens with leading European clubs, including Barcelona, Manchester City, and Paris Saint-Germain. Topping off the NFT news this past week, TikTok competitor Changari, an Indian short-form video sharing platform, announced Friday that it raised $19 million via token sale. In addition, the startup plans to launch its own social token, Gari, G-A-R-I, on the Solana blockchain. Good news for Solana this week, right? That's $19 million token sale. So Changari claims to have 80 million users. 80 million users. Wow. Users will receive the Gari token if they watch or upload content to the platform. Changari CEO Sumit Ghosh told The Block these tokens can then be used to unlock a creator's special content or to buy a voice or video call with that creator. He says, quote, "The future of the platform lies in creators. On one side, we have an immense talent pool. We have an immense talent pool that needs to be explored and rewarded with an ethical amount of monetization. On the other side, while crypto experiences a rapid expansion in India, the Gari token is poised to make it mainstream. We are infusing the two through robust strategies and incorporation of the most promising industry advances."
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. Look how I'm kicking up.
And we have 10 minutes before the Bitcoin weekly candle closes. Speaking of Bitcoin and NTFs, Bitcoin NTFs are emerging on Stacks. Can they thrive? NTFs are on Bitcoin. It's being done through Stacks, which settles its transactions to the Bitcoin blockchain. Stacks has seen a rising NFT collectibles activity in recent weeks, and actually I think that Stacks token increased about 70% the past 24 hours. And if you join us Friday, Michelle did have a session talking about that. So Michelle front ran the pump right there. So the smart contract platform rolls up and settles its transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain. And that's what we talk about game theory here. You know, if why release an NFT on Ethereum when you can release it on the most secure network in all of human history, Bitcoin, right? Nine minutes before the Bitcoin weekly candle closes. Let's go into some world news right now, right? Mexico's stock exchange, BMV, has been evaluating the possibility of listing crypto-based financial instruments like futures. The CEO said during an October 5th discussion streamed live on YouTube in response to an audience question during the talk, which was primarily focused on how to start investing. The BMV CEO said that the stock exchange has evaluated instruments linked to crypto. He clarified that one possibility would be listing crypto futures through the derivatives exchange MexDer, a subsidiary of BMV. He says, quote, "Yes, it's something we have talked about with financial authorities. That's what we've analyzed." More bullish news across the world here. More bullish. Indian cryptocurrency exchange CoinSwitch Kuber has raised $260 million in a Series C funding round and is now a unicorn valued at $1.9 billion. New investors Andreessen Horowitz of A16Z and Coinbase Ventures backed the round, along with existing investors Paradigm, Ribbit Capital, Sequoia Capital India, and Tiger Global. This is A16Z's first general investment in India, not just as its first crypto investment. So that's very bullish there. CoinSwitch's chief business officer told The Block, "We are incredibly excited about the crypto market opportunity in India, and with its breakout growth, CoinSwitch has emerged as a leading retail platform in the country." And thank you for joining us. If this is your first time listening in, I am Creole, one half of Untwisting the Game Crypto, where we discuss all things Bitcoin, Polkadot and Cardano, NFTs, and the metaverse. Thank you for rocking with me this evening. All right, we just discussed a little bit about the world news. Let's bring it back home to America. Stock trading app by the name of Public announced on Thursday that it will add crypto buying and selling in the coming weeks, joining the likes of Square, Robinhood, and a growing number of other financial apps. The stock trading startup, which was valued at $1.2 billion earlier this year, will now support trading in Bitcoin, Bcash, Ether, Ethereum Classic, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Stellar, Zcash, Cardano, and Dash, according to a press release. And this company, Public, raised $310 million since 2019 with the aim of competing with the likes of Robinhood. More news from America here. U.S. Bank is now offering crypto custody services to its institutional clientele in the U.S. or Cayman Islands. Private funds can currently keep their Bitcoin with the bank, according to Tuesday's announcement. Support for more coins will be added in the future. The vice chair of U.S. Bank Wealth Management and Investment Services said, investors' demand for crypto offerings has exploded in recent years. He says, quote, "Our fund and institutional custody clients have accelerated their plans to offer cryptocurrencies, and in response, we made it a priority to accelerate our ability to offer custody services," said Tuesday's announcement. But keep in mind, they're only offering it to, right, the institutional clientele. They don't care about you. Banks don't care about you. You know, also with that U.S. Bank offering, the offering will help investment managers store private keys for Bitcoin, Bcash, and Litecoin with the help of sub-custodian NYDIG. I do pity the fool that forfeits their Bitcoin private keys over to a bank. We've got 3 minutes before the Bitcoin weekly candle closes. Investment platform Republic is now offering what it calls quote-unquote security NFTs. This is aimed at giving music fans the opportunity to share the rights to artist royalties. Interesting. These so-called SNFTs represent fans' investments in artist songs and albums, and the subsequent returns those music assets generate through plays, streams, and licensing. Quote, the same membership units that may typically be represented by an LLC membership certificate will novelly be represented by the SNFT instead, Republic's chief strategy officer told The Block. Initially, fans will be able to invest in a new song called Mona Lisa by rapper Lil Pump featuring Soulja Boy. Wow, that song's going to be trash. as well as an unspecified track from electronic music artist Kushmer, KSHMR. All right, we're going to watch this Bitcoin weekly candle close. We inched up towards 55,000, but it doesn't look like we're going to hit it. And again, you're tuned in to Untwisting the Game Crypto. This is the Bitcoin weekly candle close. Up on the agenda today, we are going to round out the news of the top 10 coins by market cap. I'm going to go over some information here. A couple of articles. Bakkt Partners with Google to introduce digital assets to millions of consumers. We're going to talk about Nigeria. Nigeria to become the first country in Africa to launch the CBDC. Nigeria's central bank governor says CBDC launch just a couple days away. Next, we're going to talk about a progress report released by the FSB related to a global stablecoin. Then we're going to round out the evening with the Bitcoin Clown of the Week. Thirty seconds. A nice fat green candle for the week. We are in bullish territory, but be careful, don't get faked out by the market makers. Okay, and we have closed the candle. We have closed at 54,665 even. We have closed the Bitcoin weekly candle at 54,665. Up significantly. All right, and you are tuned into the Bitcoin weekly candle close. I am Creole, one half of Untwisting the Game Crypto, where we discuss all things Bitcoin, Polkadot, and Cardano. I've got a good episode for you this evening, so if you stick to the end, you're going to learn a lot. That's what we do here. All right, with that, let's move into our next segment here, the top 10. How high are we, all right? How high is the market cap? Before I jump in, let me go to the chat. The chat has been live here. I'm not even going to be able to catch up, but give me a moment. Blockchain Monkeys, what's up? Crawford, what's up? Good to see you in the chat. Ebro, what's up, my man? He says, Ebro says, I'm British Nigerian, interested in hearing this CBDC news. Yes, it's gonna be a good one. Let's see where it ends up. Nigel, how you doing, man? Nigel says, it's like Toomey is talking to Yellen's closed doors. Yeah, what a mess America's in. Alpay, what's up, man? Alpay says, the more I research compliance, the more I'm amazed that the SEC has reach in pretty much every country. How is every country okay with this? I guess USD got muscles everywhere. Yes, America, we can shut you down, right? You better play ball with America, or we will ruin your economy, or bring the military in and take over your government. That's what America does, right? Nigel Alpay says, fun fact, the Howey test deems what is security or not. That test was designed in 1946 to sell in Orange Grove in Florida. Wow, that is obsolete. You are correct on that. It is very obsolete. Michelle URL in the chat. Hey, Michelle. Yes, Stacks has been on fire. It has. Bitcoin NTFs may be the new hype train, but not many marketplace to support. I kind of went back and forth with Michelle about that. Are BTC maxis even going to hype up NFTs on Bitcoin? I don't think they really care about NFTs. We'll see what happens. We'll see if there's a market for it. Crawford says, oh, by the way, I was way off the other day about OpenSea. They have had a ridiculous amount of new wallets the last few months. The data I read was old. Hey, Crawford, we get it wrong too. Appreciate the correction there, and every time we find something wrong, we correct as well. All right, let me go ahead and go into the market cap. The market capitalization of all of crypto is $2.3 trillion, right? Trading volume 126 billion the past 24 hours. The Bitcoin market cap looking nice, right? Market cap dominance at 43.71%. That is staying steady, right? So let's, as always, each week, we're going to continue to put all of this in perspective for you, right? Let's look at the top country, or the top companies. Let's see where they are sitting with market cap. Apple is at 2.36 trillion. They closed this past week, about the same. Google inched up to 1.86 trillion. Amazon 1.67 trillion. Facebook down $30 billion this week to 930 billion. Probably due to them going down and being offline, right, this past week. Ouch, 30 billion. Tesla, 777 billion. That's up 10 billion this week. Square, 110 billion. That's staying steady. Twitter staying steady at 50 billion. MicroStrategy actually up $1 billion this week at 6.9 billion. Now let's look at the banks. JP Morgan Chase, 508 billion. That's up 8 billion. Bank of America, 373 billion. Wells Fargo, 197 billion. Citigroup, 146 billion, and Goldman Sachs, 132 billion. That's up. All right, let's look at the top 10 coins by market cap. Bitcoin is king, and it will always be king. Do not listen to people who think Bitcoin will be flipped, and I will explain that in a segment that I'm going to cover. Okay, towards the Bitcoin clown of the week. Okay, Bitcoin has been in the news, right? It closed at 54. Right now it's at 54,900 with a market cap of $1 trillion. Bitcoin will become the currency in Brazil soon, according to a federal deputy of Brazil, Aurora Ribeiro. A federal deputy in Brazil stated that Bitcoin might become a recognized currency in Brazil soon. During an interview this past week with local media, the politician stated that Brazilians may be able to purchase houses, cars, and even fast food at McDonald's with cryptocurrency in the near future. Bill 2.303/15 regulates cryptocurrencies, might approve the legal use of the asset similar to El Salvador. More in the news of Bitcoin. CoinDesk reported Wednesday a buyer or a group of buyers entered an order on a centralized exchange to buy $1.6 billion worth of Bitcoin. $1.6 billion worth of Bitcoin. And actually, that's nothing. Well, that's not nothing. To put it in perspective, that's roughly 4.5% of the average daily volume in the Bitcoin spot market over the past 2 months. Also, Bitcoin being in the news, Mt. Gox. A voting period for the Mt. Gox civil rehabilitation plan ended this past week. Tokyo-based crypto exchange Mt. Gox shut down in 2014 after it lost Bitcoin worth $450 million at that time to unknown hackers. Ouch. The hack and the subsequent closure of what was then one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world affected nearly 24,000 people. In June 2018, Japanese courts green-lighted a petition for a civil rehabilitation that will allow Mt. Gox creditors to get compensation for their losses, but the process was marked by delays and legal disputes. In December 2020, the Tokyo District Court accepted the current draft of the rehabilitation plan and then issued an order in February to allow claimants to vote on it. Now, here's the part. The voting process began May 31st of this year, giving creditors over 4 months to cast their votes either by mail or electronically. The voting period ended on Friday, October 8th. If the plan is accepted, creditors would be partially compensated for their losses in Japanese yen, Bitcoin, Bcash, and Bcash. Otherwise, the process would revert to Mt. Gox's bankruptcy. All right, number 2 market cap is Ethereum. Ethereum right now is $3,473 with a market cap of $409 billion. Vitalik, actually, in the news, Ethereum creator Vitalik Buterin critiques El Salvador's new Bitcoin policy. He said, quote, making it mandatory for businesses to accept a specific currency is contrary to the ideals of freedom that are supposed to be so important to the crypto space. Additionally, this tactic of pushing BTC to millions of people in El Salvador at the same time with almost no attempt at prior education is reckless and risks a large number of innocent people getting hacked or scammed. Buterin says Bitcoin enthusiasts should keep their passion for the top cryptocurrency in check and focus on maintaining a critical look at what's happening in the space. I won't even go there with Vitalik. If you've listened to my past episodes, you know how I feel about Ethereum and Vitalik. Also in the news of Ethereum, French bank ready to back the DAO stablecoin with bonds. Société Générale, French bank, could start backing the DAO stablecoin using security tokens running on top of the Ethereum network. This could be very positive for the decentralized finance DeFi ecosystem that has relied on DAO. And I'm sorry, it's DAI, not DAO. Apologies for that. DAI, D-A-I. In order to offer solutions to investors and users in different jurisdictions, the official submission of this proposal was made by the investment branch of the bank through MakerDAO's forum. That's interesting. And we're going to see this play out, right? More and more banks are going to get involved in cryptocurrency because they have to. Right? They have to. They have no other choice. Number 3, Cardano, ADA. Right now at $2.22, slightly down for the week. Market cap of $71 billion. Cardano in the news. Cardano's Emurgo taps into the African market with financial grants for 100 local startups. 100 African blockchain startups with a market capitalization of less than 20 million are set to benefit from a 100 million pre-seed program launched by Emurgo, the founding entity of the Cardano blockchain. According to an announcement on Tuesday, the company unveiled a program dubbed Emurgo Africa, which will focus on boosting the financial, educational, and technical muscle of rapidly growing startups in various countries with Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, Egypt, and South Africa, where selected beneficiaries in the pilot phase before the program rolls out to other African countries. The CEO of Emurgo, Ken Kodama, says, quote, through Emurgo Africa, we are specifically dedicated to delivering financial and educational empowerment opportunities on the continent by providing the capital and strategic partnerships necessary for local startups to scale rapidly and bring new solutions to Cardano. He says our partnerships with Adian Labs and Everest Ventures provides us a great framework to launch in Africa. So again, you know, we're very bullish about Cardano on this channel, and this is why. Their strategy behind their rollouts, they have funding, they're focused on emerging economies and developing countries because that is where the growth is going to be. All right, number 4, Tether. Of course, always a dollar, the number 1 stablecoin in all of the world. Coming in at $69 billion here. Tether always in the news. Tether, issuer of an eponymous stablecoin, has loaned $1 billion to the Celsius network. That's interesting. Celsius network CEO Alex Mashinsky said the company pays an interest of about 5 to 6% to Tether. So Tether is not going anywhere. I know there's a lot of FUD and misinformation about Tether and Bitfinex in the news. But guys, ladies, gentlemen, Tether has their tentacles all throughout the crypto industry. All right, number 5 is Binance Coin BNB, right now at $407. With a $63 billion market cap, Binance in the news. Binance continues to bend the knee around the world with increasing regulatory scrutiny. Binance this week announced that it is cutting down its crypto trading offerings in South Africa. On October 8th, Binance published a blog post announcing the immediate end to futures, options, margin, and leverage trading for users in South Africa. Users with open positions will have until January 6th to close them. Very interesting. XRP number 6, right now at $1.16, $54 billion market cap. XRP in the news. XRP actually shot up, 9% the past 24 hours, I believe it was. And that's partly due to Ripple's lawyers. They're turning up the heat on the SEC. Lawyers pointed out some damning evidence regarding a speech made by Bill Hinman, a former director of the SEC's corporate finance division. Ripple filed a letter on Thursday to U.S. Judge Ned Byrne, accusing the SEC of negligence in handling requests for admission. In the last 24 hours, yes, actually it's up 11% right now. So good for the Ripple Army. You need some good news, right? With this ongoing battle with the SEC. All right, number 7, Solana slipped this week. It's at $151.16 with a $45 billion market cap. Solana in the news. A popular Solana-based NFT project, Iconics, was rugged today, actually this past week, by its creator, a supposed 17-year-old 3D artist. This artist promised to deliver 8,000 NFTs focused on 3D renders of figurines, but instead of the artwork, all the buyers received were random collections of emojis. Wow, I would have been so pissed if I paid for an NFT minute and got some emojis. The artist made away with around 1,000 Solana tokens worth around $138,000. The money has already been split across multiple accounts according to blockchain data. That is very unfortunate. But like I said earlier, there was some bullish news in Solana with a partnership with an Indian quote-unquote TikTok competitor. So that's good. Number 8, Polkadot. The Polkadot parachains are among us, right? Any moment now we're going to get that announcement. But in Kusama news, Motion 362 passed by council to open up an 11th Kusama parachain auction. The 11th auction kicked off last Wednesday, October 6th. Also in Polkadot news, on October 13th through 14th, be sure to join the Sub-Zero to hear Parity Tech's review of the current state of substrate bridges to Polkadot, as well as components available for building trustless bridges between substrate-based chains and other consensus systems. That's why we're so bullish on Polkadot. The future will be multi-chained. One blockchain will not rule them all. All right, coming in at number 10 is USDC coin, the second largest stablecoin in all of the world. The SEC continues to investigate the stablecoin-focused crypto company Circle. According to a regulatory filing from October 4th, the language itself indicates a broad scope of inquiry, a state of affairs that may not be surprising, given the U.S. SEC regulators' stated goal to tighten its oversight on the crypto industry. Last month, SEC Chair Gary Gensler said he wanted to bring the crypto market to, quote, into the public policy framework. So again, we see this common theme here recently. Regulators across the world are focused and honed in on tightening down on stablecoins. Finally, number 10, Dogecoin. You know how I feel about meme coins, but Dogecoin was actually in the news this week. The Colorado-based Dogecoin Foundation is in a pickle. They're actually in a dispute right now over the trademark ownership of the name Dogecoin. In 2013, founders did not apply for a trademark for Dogecoin until 2021, when the founders of the Colorado-based nonprofit. Now, the Dogecoin Foundation filed an application with the USPTO this past August. They didn't even file a trademark until this year. How insane. But currently, there's at least 100 other cryptocurrencies not associated with the original Dogecoin or Dogecoin Foundation that utilize the Dogecoin name. Adding to the potential confusion, a Cook Islands-based company, Moonrabbit, also unaffiliated with the Colorado-based Dogecoin Foundation, recently applied for a trademark for Dogecoin earlier this year. So again, those trademarks are important, but keep in mind, because Michelle and I talked about this back and forth. Like, can I create a Bitcoin T-shirt and not have to worry about trademarks? So here's the law, okay? A cryptocurrency may not qualify as a product or service if its sole function is merely as a medium of exchange, such as a traditional currency. However, a good or service associated with that function could enable a cryptocurrency name to be trademarked. So that is very interesting there. All right, I'm just going to take a sip of my drink, and we will go into the next couple segments here. I'll take a look at the chat too. All right, the Pothead BTC is in the chat. What's up, man? It's good to see your name. Weekly candle looks good. Yes, we are looking very bullish right now. Crawford says, I'm trying to use a bank less and less, not looking for more services from them. Good for you. And actually, Michelle has completely gone bankless. And I'm on my way too. I've got a lot of stuff going on. So closing bank accounts has been tricky for sure, but Michelle has done it. Coolin in the chat, fire emoji. What's up, Coolin? The Logic Sphere in the chat. What's up, the Logic Sphere? When the CBDC is launched, Tether is gonna be gone. We'll see. And I think you're right about that. Because they're gonna try to crack down on it, but like I said, Tether they have their tentacles all throughout the crypto industry. It's going to be hard for them to just disappear. The Logic Sphere says there will be no more artificial US dollar on and off ramp to crypto. Yeah, they're going to try. That's why we have these VPNs and these decentralized exchanges. One thing is for sure is that if you're investing in crypto, it better be a completely decentralized coin, because governments are coming after those centralized projects, and we're seeing that. Michelle URL, speaking of XRP, let's not sleep on Flare Network. It's heating up. Yeah, I'm still waiting on my Flare tokens. Those are supposed to be released Q4, right? Okay, Crawford says, I get paid in fiat, so kind of hard. Have a conversation with Michelle. She's figured it out. She gets paid in fiat. Alpay says, dead presidents. Yes. Best beats on this channel, hands down. I appreciate that. In a past life, I was a DJ, so I really love music, and this is actually getting me closer to music doing these live. So I appreciate that, y'all. I appreciate the music. All right. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the reason why we are here, right? The agenda. This is huge news. Bakkt partners with Google to introduce digital assets to millions of consumers. Consumers will benefit from expanded reach and access to digital assets. This was released October 8th, a couple days ago. So let's jump into it. Bakkt, a digital asset marketplace that enables consumers to buy, sell, send, and spend digital assets today announced a partnership with Google to extend the reach and usability of digital assets to meet rapidly evolving consumer demand and preferences. Bakkt users will be able to add their virtual Bakkt Visa debit card into Google Play to purchase everyday goods and services online, in-store, or wherever Google Play is accepted. Digital assets such as Bitcoin will be converted to fiat currency for those payments to occur. Additionally, Bakkt has selected Google Cloud as a preferred cloud provider and will market its solutions powered by Google Cloud to leading retailers and merchants in the U.S. Now, this part actually kind of spooked me out. Listen to this. Bakkt also plans to build new analytics along with artificial intelligence, machine learning, and geolocation functionality on its platform to draw out deep, location-aware business insights, leveraging Google Cloud's industry-leading tools. These insights will provide Bakkt consumers with expanded loyalty redemption options while providing Bakkt partners with valuable consumer behavior patterns powered by Google Cloud infrastructure. That's kind of scary. And, you know, this is the future we're moving into, where all of the money in the world is going to run on a blockchain, right? It is. That's happening. It's happening right now all over the world. So now these corporations and governments, they're going to have access to every little thing you do. Let's move on. This partnership is a testament to Bakkt's strong position in the digital asset marketplace to empower consumers to enjoy their digital assets in a real-time, secure, reliable manner, said Gavin Michael, Bakkt CEO. Additionally, partnering with Google Cloud will enable us to continue to build a best-in-class, innovative platform that can undoubtedly scale to meet the needs of millions of users. Google Cloud has been at the forefront of accelerating digital commerce, powering many retailers and merchants, said Kristen Cliphouse, Google Cloud President of North America. She says, "We are proud to help Bakkt accelerate and scale the availability of their innovative solutions powered by our technologies." Yes, right. More being able to see what people are doing. It's all about that, right? Okay, let's move into the Nigeria news. Okay, Nigeria central bank governor says CBDC launch just a couple days away. And a couple episodes back, I was going back and forth between Nigeria and I believe it was Ghana who was going to launch their CBDC first. Nigeria is a couple days away. The governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emfimele, has confirmed the country's upcoming digital currency will be launched in, quote, a couple of days from now. According to the governor, the digital currency, which is also known as the e-Naira, will be the first of its kind in Africa. Nigeria to launch CBDC in days, all right? President reassures Nigerians follow the CBN's deferment of the e-Naira launch to an unknown date. As a side note here, this happened very quickly for Nigeria. This happened very quickly, and I really hope this does not fall apart, because if this CBDC falls apart in Africa being the first one, people aren't going to trust it. So we want to watch what happens here with the first CBDC launch in Africa, because if all this goes to hell, people are going to gravitate towards Bitcoin. Sources disclosed that Emfimele said on Thursday that the e-Naira CBDC will make Nigeria, quote, one of the first countries in Africa to adopt the digitization of its national currency. One other part I wanted to note out here is the launch of the CBDC will also ensure that the central bank will maintain control of the monetary system. This is what it's all about. It's maintaining control of their monetary system. And I believe I read an article, and I talked about this in a couple episodes back, that a large number of Nigerians are using Bitcoin right now. So these central banks are going to have to compete. But the question becomes, will they rush this out so quickly to where there's hacks, bugs in the blockchain? We're gonna see. All right, and I'm gonna cover this quite extensively because this is important in the next coming weeks. All right, let me take a little sip of my drink here, and we're gonna move on to the next article, the next segment. Global stablecoin. We're talking about it. Okay. This article was released by FSB. And this is really the first time I've come across this FSB group here, but it's really interesting. They've been doing some work with stablecoins for quite some time. But FSB really just stands for the Financial Stability Board. It's an international body that monitors and makes recommendations about the global financial system. So they released a report this past week, a regulation, supervision, and oversight of global stablecoin arrangements. Progress report on the implementation of the FSB high-level recommendations. Okay, a couple things I want to point out, and I'm actually going to go to the report for you. This report describes the status of the review of the existing standard setting body SSB frameworks, standards, guidelines, and principles in light of the FSB high-level recommendation. Jurisdictions have taken or are considering different approaches towards implementing the high-level recommendations, which could give rise to the risk of regulatory arbitrage and harmful market fragmentation. It goes on to say, this report stresses that a number of issues may not be fully covered by existing standards and principles, and that gaps should be addressed in a holistic manner that is coordinated across sectors. It goes on to include conditions for qualifying a stablecoin as a global stablecoin. Okay, they know this is coming, right? They know there is going to be a one world currency, so they're trying to get ahead of this and setting guidelines to being able to pick what that global stablecoin will be, okay? Goes on to say prudential investor protection and other requirements for issuers, custodians, and providers of our other global stablecoin functions, example, wallet providers, redemption rights, cross-border and cross-sectoral cooperation and coordination, and mutual recognition and difference. So good luck. Right? Good luck to all of the governments around the world trying to work together to create a global stablecoin. I don't see that happening. In my view, the global stablecoin is going to be Bitcoin, because once Bitcoin becomes the standard for the entire global monetary system, it will be more stable. Okay? Goes on to say the review, which was completed in which will be completed in July 2023, will identify how any gaps could be addressed by existing frameworks and will lead to the update of the FSB's recommendations if needed. So again, all of these governments across the world are rushing to release their currency, but internationally, people are like, wait, we got to do it right. So let's jump into this report and see what they're saying. Again, this was released by the Financial Stability Board, and it was released on the 7th of October, very fresh and new. It's the title is Regulation, Supervision, and Oversight of Global Stablecoin Arrangement. And this is their progress report of what's going on in the world. All right, I'm not going to bore you because it's 30 pages. I went through it. And I wanted to go over a couple key points here with you. Let me find it. I'm unable to highlight on this PDF, but it's something you need to know here. Okay, here we go. While the current generation so-called stablecoins are not being used for mainstream payments on a significant scale, vulnerabilities in this space have continued to grow over the course of 2020 to 2021. Because the last thing these governments want is Tether to become the global stablecoin. So they're trying to prevent that. Listen to this. At present, stablecoins are being used primarily as a bridge between traditional fiat currencies and other crypto assets, which in turn are primarily held and traded for speculative purposes. Increased participation by retail investors could give rise to a broader financial stability issues through an erosion of trust in the financial system. And I will argue that erosion of trust is already here, right? That's why cryptocurrency is taking the form that it has so quickly. It goes on to say, in the event that that a stablecoin does enter the mainstream of the financial system as a means of payment and or store of value in multiple jurisdictions with the potential to achieve substantial volume, it could become a global stablecoin, which they label GSC. The emergence of GSCs would pose greater risk to financial stability than existing stablecoins and may challenge the comprehensiveness and effectiveness of existing regulatory, supervisory, and oversight approaches. Ensuring appropriate regulation, supervision, and oversight across sectors and jurisdictions will therefore be necessary to prevent any potential gaps and avoid regulatory arbitrage. So, and this is the game theory of cryptocurrency and stablecoins. It is going to completely erase borders. So governments are trying to figure out, okay, if there becomes a global stablecoin, and there will be, who's going to regulate that? What international body, right? Whose regulatory clarity is going to take precedent? So these international people are really trying to figure this out. And I'm going to tell you, by the time they figure it out, it's going to be too late, okay? Overall, the implementation of the FSB high-level recommendations across jurisdictions is still at an early stage. They're still trying to figure all this out. In the first half of 2021, the FSB conducted a comprehensive stock take of the implementation of the FSB high-level recommendations on the regulation, supervision, and oversight of so-called global stablecoin arrangements of October 2020. They've been working on this since October. 48 jurisdictions in the FSB and its regional consultative groups, RCGs, participated in the stock take covering 21 advanced economies and 27 emerging markets and developing economies. Several jurisdictions have been reviewing and updating their legal and regulatory regimes to address specific risks arising from the emergence of stablecoins. See, they're not even focused on Bitcoin anymore. They're shaking in their boots over stablecoins. Right? Okay, one other piece I wanted to point out in this report. There is a section that goes over the current status of the nations that they've been working with across the world. And I'm just going to scroll down and look here, right? They've got the European Union, Singapore, the United States, United Kingdom, etc. But let me read you a passage from the United States. And this is what's scary, because we have people making these decisions that don't even understand the technology. Okay, 1.2.3 United States here. This is page 12 of the report. The U.S. President's Working Group, I mentioned that earlier, the PWG, which they don't know what they're doing, is working on the preparation of a report on stablecoins, which will discuss their potential benefits and risks, the current U.S. regulatory framework, and recommendations for addressing any regulatory gaps. On July 16, 2021, the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, Janet L. Yellen, announced plans to reconvene the PWG, joined by the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, to continue discussion of work on stablecoins. The group will prepare a report on stablecoins, which will discuss their potential benefits and risks, the current U.S. regulatory framework, and recommendations for addressing any regulatory gaps. The work is motivated by the rapid growth of stablecoins, potential uses of stablecoins as a means of payment, and potential risk to end users, the financial system, and national security. The PWG expects to issue the report in the coming months. Okay, it goes on to talk a little bit more about what to expect in that report, but let me scroll down to the end of this report. And again, I'll leave this in the description. If it tickles your fancy, skim over this report so you can see what they're thinking. And at the bottom of this, they are going to list out all of their recommendations, and also not only their recommendations, but what they fear would happen, right? The issues identified. So example, recommendation 1 here provides that authorities should have and utilize the necessary powers and tools and adequate resources to comprehensively regulate, supervise, and oversee a global stablecoin. And issues identified. Okay, they're letting you know we haven't figured this out quite yet. Which are the appropriate regulatory authority or authorities to regulate and supervise stablecoin arrangements? They don't even have a body to do that. Do the existing regulatory parameters of authorities need to be revised due to the involvement of multiple functions and multiple participants in the governance, issuance, and redemption, reserve management, stabilization, transfer of coins, and interaction with users? And I'm not going to bore you right now, but it goes on to list all the 10 recommendations and their issues with it. So they know this is coming, all right? If you're talking to someone and they tell you that, governments are going to ban Bitcoin, they are not. Right? They are adopting the technology. They're just trying to figure out how to issue stablecoins, government-backed stablecoins, and still control it. And they acknowledge that there will become a time that there's going to be a global stablecoin that all the world recognizes as a store of value and medium of exchange. So, this is one of the better reports that I've read out of any regulatory body. But still, they're still so far behind, right? They're even telling us we're not going to figure this out until 2023. So that's really interesting. I'll leave that in the comments below. And I'm going to go to the chat for a little bit, and then we are going to go to our last segment, which is the Bitcoin Clown of the Week. Okay? Let's go to the chat here. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. Michelle URL says, yeah, and it's the issue with Crypto.com is that the debit card is technically a prepaid card, so some bills you can't pay with it. That's very true. And actually, I was so new to Crypto.com that I was able to pay my rent with the debit card and get the CRO token. They stopped that. They stopped that maybe a month after after they released the card. Crawford says, what do you think about Djed? I don't know much about it. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the stable coin that, is it Cody releasing that? The project Cody? But if any stable coin wins the race, it's going to be a coin that is has cozied up with governments, right? And if you know anything about the Cardano blockchain, they have built into the protocol to where metadata, identity is built into the protocol. So the Jet may be, a stable coin for the global economy. We'll see. Dr. Crypto, what's up? This is so great, and no one is talking about it. Thanks, Creole. I appreciate it. Crawford says, is because of interest you can earn, you stake coins. Yes, that's a whole nother issue there when you're making money from stable coins, right? Crawford says, once people realize they can earn 8 to 10% basically risk-free, why invest in bonds? Exactly. Exactly. If they can't sell their bonds, the Ponzi starts falling apart, and we're starting to see that, right? Coin Hodler, what's up, man? I appreciate the decentralized nature of Djed. It's why I was rooting for Terra USD. I'm not privy to the functionality behind Djed, though. Maybe I do an episode on that because I do want to learn more about it. And yes, Djed is on the Coty network. All right, I'm going to take another little sip of this drink here. Then we're going to go into the Bitcoin Clown of the Week. I gotta be strong. I thought we were down. Now you say you want me, girl. Make up your mind. I'm not gonna be here for long. You know you want baby. All right. I'm back. Let's move into our next segment here, the Bitcoin Clown of the Week. All right. And the Bitcoin Clown of the Week goes to Sheila Bear. All right. What do we know about Sheila? She has for years and years told you not to buy Bitcoin, right? Cryptocurrencies have no intrinsic value. So who is Sheila? Sheila is actually the former FDIC chair. And she does not have confidence in Bitcoin whatsoever, despite an increasing number of institutions embracing the cryptocurrency. Bear was a key banking regulator during the height of the global financial crisis in 2008. She told us, quote, "Stay away from it. It's too volatile. Don't buy Bitcoin. It's only the greatest wealth transformation in all of humanity, but stay away from it," right? Okay, so I'm going to pull up here and I'm going to play it. Again, I'll leave the link in the description, but she was on Fox News Business this past, when was it? I believe it was Tuesday, October 5th, and we will play her little interview here.
Bitcoin jumping back above 50,000 for the first time in a month, nearing 51,000 right now, real close. The increase coming after a brief plunge following fears surrounding regulatory policies in China and the United States. Bitcoin's October comeback comes as other top cryptocurrencies enjoy similar gains as investors continue to pour money into the stocks amid inflation fears. But are cryptos worth your money? Former Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation Chair Sheila Bear joins me now. I get asked this all the time, Sheila. Is crypto worth it? Do I need to get into crypto? What do you say?
Well, I don't give financial advice. I will say, though, I don't own any of it. I think people do confuse the asset with the technology underlying the asset. And the distributed ledger technology, the blockchain, that has real promise to be disruptive and of tremendous value in payments, clearing and settlement, better secure system for sharing information. There are a whole host of companies developing that technology for uses that will be hugely beneficial to our economy, but don't confuse that with the actual asset like Bitcoin, highly speculative, highly volatile. I stay away from it. I know I'll probably get a lot of adverse reaction to that on Twitter saying that, but I don't own it, and I believe in the technology, but the assets itself, I think you should be very careful about.
Now, the debates on Twitter are big about crypto, and at the same time, though, you are a former regulator. So do you, in your opinion, do you think that crypto should be more regulated or regulated in general.
It should absolutely be more regulated. I fear the regulators are falling behind on this. There's a lot of focus on stable coins, which I celebrate. Stable coins are different from Bitcoin. It's a cryptocurrency, but it's tied to an underlying asset, typically the US dollar. And that's issuers bill it that way, that it's backed by actual, US dollar cash equivalents. But that's really not the case with a lot of them. I'm on the board of a company that has a stable coin. It only invests the fiat currency that it takes in true, in FDIC insured deposits or short-term treasuries. But a lot of the other issuers do not do that. I think people buying these stable coins think they're backed by cash equivalents, but they're not. So there's a crying need for that. It's also a rapidly growing market. It's up to about 120 billion now. That's about a tenfold increase over a year. Really going quickly, not huge, not systemic at this point, but could be. And regulators really need, it's just one piece of this larger ecosystem that is a growing force in our markets. And I do fear that regulators have been falling behind. I think they need to pick
she
up
starts
the
to
pace
ramble
a bit.
here. So a couple of things I wanted to point out here, okay? And this really frustrates me. And it may take, years of studying Bitcoin and blockchain to finally come to this realization. But when people say Bitcoin isn't worth anything, but the underlying technology is, that's crazy. That's insane. Let me explain why. What is the number one use case for blockchain technology? What is it? This blockchain technology, what is its best use case? Money, right? This is the whole reason blockchain was developed, for money. And ultimately, a blockchain is only useful in the application of money because the blockchain is dependent on a native currency for security. So saying blockchain is revolutionary, but the currency that secures the blockchain is not, makes you look like a clown, right? That's saying a car is beautiful. A car is a great technology, but wheels are trash. What is a car without wheels? What is a blockchain without the currency that secures the blockchain? And if you talk to a lot of Bitcoin maximalists, you'll start to understand that Bitcoin represents the most secure blockchain by orders of magnitude. The only competition for Bitcoin has and will remain the legacy monetary network. Gold, euro, the dollar, yen. So how can you say Bitcoin, the coin or the currency, has no intrinsic value, but the technology does? That is absolutely insane, Sheila, and you should know better. You're smart enough to sit down and read a book on Bitcoin. You're smart enough to sit down and read articles and comprehend what's going on with blockchain technology. You cannot have a blockchain without a native currency. Period. Point blank. Right? And then she talks about cash, stablecoins not being backed by cash, but what is cash backed by? Right? What's the US dollar backed by? All right. I'm going to end that segment. I'm going to go ahead and go to the chat, and we're just going to jam out until y'all start to leave. Okay? Coin Holler says, we got 4 people watching that haven't hit the thumbs up. Yes, hit the thumbs up, please. Please hit the thumbs up for me. Ish, hey, what's up, Ish? How you doing, man? All right, if nobody has any questions or comments about what I went over, we're just going to jam out for about 30 minutes. Dr. Crypto and BTC we trust. Yes.
break it down. Bag it up. Fuck it up, fuck it up, fuck it up, bag it up, bag it up, bag it up, break it up, bag 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 it up. I tell all my hoes, break it up.
Keep that in mind. You know, the best use case for this blockchain technology is not data, right? It's money. It's keeping tabs of transactions. What's the most important ledger ever? A ledger with money, right? Keeping tabs on money. That's what blockchain was invented for money.
I was sending bricks to Harlem back when Jay was still with Dame. I'm in for leave chapter. I got a protect on. Got a triple with me. She picked up.
Yeah, Alpay says, Creole getting heated. I am getting heated because these people, they have platforms, they have titles, they have all the access to knowledge that they want, and they just get on TV and lie. It pisses me off.
Break it down. Bag it up. Fuck it up, fuck it up, fuck it up, bag it up, bag it up, bag it up, break it up, bag 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 it up.
Michelle URL in the chat, she says, what is everyone buying right now? That's a good question. I'd like to know that.
Fuck it up, 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 break it up, break it up.
All right. We're going to wind it down. I'm approaching an hour and 30 minutes. I'm going to cut it off before we get there. But let's just jam out. Yeah, so seductive. Oh, look at that. Bitcoin is above 55,000. Hey, if this is your first bull run in a 4-year cycle, you're about to get your face melted off. Ripple Rick in the chat. Hey, that's a new name. What's up, man? Thanks for joining. He says, buying up OMI. I'm not too familiar with that. Let me look that up. Whoa. All right, I'm bringing it up here. Okay, I don't know anything about this project. Oh, it's on GoChain. Okay, I've got some GoChain from several years back. This must be a project on that blockchain. Okay. Let's take a look here. Market cap 1.7 billion. Okay. So it's up 1,000%. What is the total supply here? 750 billion. Okay, that's a lot for me, but you know, it's at a good price. It's less than a cent. Again, everything is going to increase significantly the next couple of months. So I may look into this. Right now, what I'm doing, I'm only investing in projects less than 100 million market cap. That's just me. But I will look into this. Okay, a lot of good exposure here. I'll take a look into that. Hey, thanks, Ripple Rick. All right, let's go back to the chat. Dr. Crypto says that 1 minute wick down today. What the F? Yeah. And if you're just joining us, again, I'm Creole, one half of Untwisting the Game Crypto. Michelle URL also comes live weekly for you. But we do have a Discord channel. If you click the solo.me link in the description, please join the Discord. Dr. Crypto is always giving us tips and notifications about Bitcoin and the charts there. Michelle URL says, I'm buying BTC, ADA, DOT, and Lux. Also buying into NFT projects I believe in. Coin Hodler says the wick down on BTC to 52K got me feeling some type of way. Hey, these charts are about to act a fool, right? That's why I try not to pay too much attention to them, because it really doesn't matter. None of this matters, right? This Bitcoin weekly candle close, watching this close, none of this matters, because Bitcoin is going to be $1 million to $10 million in our lifetime per coin. So who cares, right? Who cares about all this TA? Alpay says, hey, I want to mention the music you select on here inspired me to start collecting from beat producers for vids. I'm going to start doing for the Metaverse project. Good. Stay tuned for classic. Hit us up in the Discord. Michelle and I were actually talking about you, Alpay. We want to learn a little bit more about what you're doing for your Metaverse project, because we have some ideas too. Would love to collaborate with you in some way. Coin Hodler says, Adam, Cosmos, Luna, Dot, Link are my 4 horsemen. And that's a good bag there. All those are gonna blow up for sure. Ripple Rick, it's big, dude. Big license deals. Okay, I'm gonna look into it. I promise you that. Ripple Rick also says 17 billion is burned so far. Okay, they're burning tokens too. That's always good for the price. You know, projects that burn tokens, that it kind of worries me as far as governance, but it's always good for the price. Ripple Rick says changing to ETH blockchain any day now. Oh, really? Is GoChange, are they changing to the ETH blockchain? I did not know that. Crawford says, doesn't Economy have licenses for Marvel stuff? Or do I have that confused? Ripple Rick says, yes, that's correct. Oh, that's huge. Michael Swain, what's up, man? How much USD equals 1 sat? Or how many sats equals 1 USD? You know, a lot of people do say eventually one day 1 sat will equal 1 USD. And I believe that's true, because we're never going to stop printing money. Even if it's a Fed coin, cryptocurrency, digital currency, we're never going to stop printing them. So yes, one day USD will equal a sat for sure. Alpay says, I actually DM Michelle URL on the Discord. Oh, okay, Michelle, go check your Discord. Ripple Rick says, yes, sir. Ripple Rick, Immutable X. Yes, Michelle is very bullish on Immutable X. If you're new to the channel, Michelle talks extensively about NFTs and the metaverse. So definitely check out some of her old videos, and she'll be live too. All right, with that, it is 6 o'clock Pacific Standard California time, so I'm gonna go out on this song. Thank you for joining. Every Sunday I'm coming live if I'm not traveling. In my white tee. My white tee. Hey. Yeah.
We all get money and we all smoke dirt. Hit the dirt, what's for the lead, all y'all work. Cause I'm fresh in my white tee. They glance in my white tee. And I got that hat that man my pants and my white tee. Whoever that you might see, I know they got a white tee.
No, Michelle, 1 sat per dollar is going to equal $100 million Bitcoin. You're off 1 decimal point. Michael says, real question, what would it take for BTC to become the reserve currency of the world? Michael, it's already won. Bitcoin has already won that race. It's just going to take governments a couple of years to figure that out. And I laid this case out several times in previous videos, but Bitcoin has already won the global reserve currency race. And just think about it like this. All of these governments, they're going to have their own central bank digital currency, right? Right? Is Is someone from Poland going to accept a Russian central bank digital currency? Is someone from Afghanistan going to accept a Russian central bank digital currency? How many American businesses are going to accept being paid in the Chinese central bank digital currency? Right? So all these governments are going to create their own currency, and nobody's going to trust it. Why? Because these central bank digital currencies are not going to be open sourced. You're not going to be able to view the code and audit the code. There's going to be backdoors galore. There's going to be bugs galore. You know, just say we have, you know, and I'm not trying to get political here, but just say we have, you know, a Trump 3.0 or 2.0 enter office in the future. And he says, if we've given any type of our Fed coin, our USD digital currency to anyone in this geolocation, we're turning it off. At the flip of at the click of a mouse, these central bank digital currencies can become your worst enemy. So Bitcoin has already won because Bitcoin has the trust more than anything, more than Ethereum, more than Cardano, more than Polkadot. Bitcoin is the trust because there is no one individual, group, or company behind Bitcoin. It is completely decentralized. So if I'm doing business in Singapore or Hong Kong and you want to pay me in the digital yuan, bro, send me some Bitcoin instead. That's the game theory. That's where we're heading. Bitcoin has already won that race. All right. Michael Swain. Oh, I already read yours. Ripple Rick, fire emojis. Alpay, thanks for the stream. Real. I appreciate all of the love. But you know, I really love doing this, putting all this information together for you, because it's game theory galore, right? It's a lot going on. So we got to keep you abreast of not just the news, but what is the important news.
Keep the streets on. No, this true the type that like to keep them on the leash though. I'm known to walk alone, but I'm alone for a reason. Sending me a drink ain't appeasing, believe me. Come harder, this won't be easy. Don't doubt yourself, trust me, you need me. This ain't a shoulder with a chip or an ego. But what you think they all mad at me for? You need a real woman in your life, taking care home and still fly.
All right, with that, I'm going to end the stream. Everybody have a good night. I am going to try to come live every day again next week. Michelle and I have a bet of who can post the most videos and receive the most likes. We're going to tally that up at the end of the year. And we've got a Bitcoin on it. We're going to bet each other a Bitcoin. So I got to catch up. I got some videos to catch up on. But everyone have a good night.
For the people, ran by the man, but the women keep the tempo. It's very seldom that you're blessed to find your equal. To play my part and let you take the lead, bro. Believe me, I'll follow. This could be easy. I'll be the help whenever you need me. I see your hustle with my hustle, I can keep you. Focus on your focus, I can feed you. Need a real woman in your life, taking care home and still fly. I can help you build a pure life.
All right, good night, everyone. Thank you for joining.